Hi everyone, my name is Ashley and I'm here to bring you all the books I will be reading this July. So for the month of July, I have two things happening. The first thing is I am reading the entire Twilight saga again. And I am doing it in preparation for Midnight Sun, which is being released August 4th, I'm pretty sure. And I will most likely be vlogging my experience of rereading Twilight. I will not only be rereading the series, but I'll be also rewatching all the movies. It is going to be all Twilight, all month. I'm excited. The second thing I'm doing this month is I created a TBR game. It is called Books and Ladders, kind of like Chutes and Ladders. And this is definitely not original. There's other people who have a similar game board as me. Basically, each square represents a different prompt, and I just pick a book that matches that prompt. Most squares are self-explanatory. I do have some squares that might need some explaining, but I'll do it when we get there. And I'm planning to do 6 rolls each month. And I do have my siblings rolling for me because why not? I also forgot to mention that once I reach the top of the board, there is a square that says buy a book. My goal is to complete the entire game and then I will be able to buy a book. That way I don't get as many books coming in. But I might break that rule. So I don't really know. I'm still working on it. But that's the end game. And then I start again at the start and work my way up again. But anyway, here's my first roll. So I first landed on sci-fi, and I will be reading An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. I do not know much about this book. Quite honestly, the only reason I picked it up was because of John Green. If you know the Vlogbrothers, John wrote The Fault in Our Stars, Looking for Alaska. This is his brother. His brother decided to give writing a try, and this is his book. I believe he has a second book coming out. I don't believe it's a sequel to this. It might be something different. But this book, I believe, is about 2 characters who see this amazing statue robot thing and takes a video of it and becomes famous the next day, virtually famous. And that's all I really know. And when I looked it up, it says this genre was sci-fi, so I went with it. So I landed on Bookish Box. I am a Bookish Box subscriber, so I get books from them monthly, and I have a pile developing, so I thought this would help get rid of some of them. And I chose to read Seasons of Storm by Elle Cosimano. This is their June pick of the month, and this is about each person represents a season, and this is about Jack, who is winter, and he has to kill fall, but he ends up falling in love with spring, but they all have to kill each other, so it's gonna be a battle. Obviously, I do not know much about this book, but it sounds exciting, intriguing, and we'll see how it goes. As you saw, I got to go up the ladder to LGBTQIA+, and for that I chose The Love and Lies of Roxana Ali. This is about a Muslim girl whose parents are extremely conservative and don't agree with her having a girlfriend, so they go to Bangladesh to get her away from that girlfriend, and she ends up going on a journey there. I know this book deals with some hard topics. It's not just a light contemporary, so I'm very excited to see what is in store for here. The next spot I landed on was Retelling, and I will be reading Cinderella is Dead by Kaylnn Bayron. This book takes place 200 years after the Cinderella story, and it is about girls fighting back the injustice of the kingdom. This book takes place 2 years after Cinderella and Charming got together. There's now an annual ball held every year that girls hope to meet up with their Prince Charming, and if they don't, then they are sent off. And I believe our main character is a person who's sent off, and they decide to fight back against the corrupt system of the kingdom. I'm excited. I pre-ordered this book. It should be here very close at the beginning of July. And yes, I'm excited. Alright, and the next spot I landed on was TBR jar. So at the beginning of the year, I wrote down all the books that I had on my shelf and put them in here. So these do not include any books that I bought or received this year. They're books that I've had previous years, because I'm pretty good about reading books I've gotten recently. So I have my sister here, Amelia, if you remember her, and she's going to pick the book in this jar cup thing. Just one. I read this one, When Dimple Met Rishi. I also have not taken out any of the books I have read, so this might take a while. Alright, pick another. A Torch Against the Night. Let me grab it. So my sister picked A Torch Against the Night. Now I have not read the first book in this series, so that is how I will fulfill the prompt. I will be reading An Ember and the Aegis by Sabaa Tahir. I do not know much about this book. I picked it up because she is a local Bay Area author and she was at an event when I was down there, so I decided to pick up these new covers. And I just know this is a fantasy novel and people love it, so I'm just gonna go in blind and not know much about it. Alright, and the last spot I landed on was to start a series. Now I have problems with not starting series and not continuing a series, so I have quite a few spots that have either one of those prompts. And the series I will be starting is King of Souls by Rena Barron. I know the second book is either coming out later this year or early next year. And again, I do not know much about this. I know there's magic base, and I believe she has to give years of her life to have magic because she's not born with it. And I believe she's the one who is to save the world. That is all I got, and I don't really want to read much more into it. I just kind of want to go in and figure it out as I read. So these are the books I'll be reading, plus Cinderella is Dead, plus the entire Twilight Saga series. It is going to be a very heavy fantasy month. Lots of fantasy and lots of starting of series. But that's cool. That's the whole point of this, isn't it? I will probably be tweaking the game board as I go on to see which prompts work well and which don't. Also, some of the prompts are books that I just want to read more of, so maybe that will prompt me to buy more of that particular genre. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day and that you're staying kind to people. Thanks. Bye!